Good morning, this is Mrs. Weigel and I'm giving you a garden update. Kind of frustrating, but trying to take a fresh look at it this morning. I was unable to be in the garden for nearly a week and a half due to travel and illness, and so some things have gotten away from me. Some things aren't really accomplishing anything, and there's very little fruit to speak of. But I didn't know what I was doing in the first place, so I guess any growth is good. Let's take a look at what we have. I am showing you the separation in this bed just so that you can kind of see the half and half. This is our corn bed, and someone had suggested a nitrogen feed, so as an experiment I only did half of the bed. This half has had nitrogen, this half has not. There's actually not a huge difference between the two. The stalks are a little thicker, and they're a tad bit taller, but that's about it. In the first of the concrete beds, we have the watermelon. We do have some blossoms, but no fruit yet. The jet setters have gotten really tall, and all the pruning got completely away from me. It's a jungle. There is the odd fruit, which I am thankful for, but there isn't much. I trellised the green beans in each bed. There are definitely things I would do different in building a string trellis next year. For one thing, I would wind it under the log. Instead, I just have it on nails. The green beans are being eaten to shreds in many places, about as much as I am. We still have not seen a single blossom on any of the green beans. Pepper seedling hasn't changed much in a month. The festival squash is one of the two plants that I am actually really excited about. And it has some of the most beautiful fruit. And lots of it. Here you can see it's growing up in the fence, and we're getting fruit there too. The Roma tomatoes haven't done much of anything. Finally starting to see some blossoms and fruit on the cayenne pepper. The cantaloupe is doing nicely. We have some blossoms. Haven't seen any fruit yet. Trying to train the vines into the walkway near the fence away from the tomatoes and peppers. You can see we did a straw mulching. This has been a little frustrating because it's made it a lot harder to weed, and it basically just gives the whole garden an unkempt look, which is hard for me visually, but I know it needs the mulch, so there you have it. This here is Squash's Mysterious number 2 that you met in the last video. It has been positively identified. Let me show you. Squash's Mysterious number 2 is officially butternut. I'm really excited about these. We probably have 5 to 8 good fruit growing, and look forward to harvest on those. It's my understanding that I need to just let them be until the vine itself practically dies away in the fall. I can do that. This is the Matt's Wild Cherry plant. We are finally getting some fruit on that. I've had to cut away a couple large branches just because I don't have any way to support them outside the cage. And this thing will just grow and grow and grow. These are the cucumbers. I had 4 plants. As an experiment, I put nitrogen fertilizer on 2 of them, the 2 which were over here. One of them completely withered away, and I just pulled it out last night because it wasn't doing anything. The other one has stayed very, very short. These 2 I haven't done anything to except trying to train them onto the trellis. Going to try a different tack on that later today, but I've only gotten fruit from these 2 that didn't have the nitrogen fertilizer. I haven't gotten many fruit, but they're delicious. These are a blonde cucumber. That one is just about ready to pick. Sadly, I don't think I'm going to get enough to do any pickling, but live and learn. Now for Squashus Mysterious number 1. We still have no idea what this plant is. There are tons of blossoms, and we have pollinators. But as you can see, there is almost no pollen in there. We never see a long stamen. They just seem really clean. So we wonder if maybe this was a hybrid that was never really meant to reproduce. This was all grown out, and I've hacked that away because there just wasn't any fruit. This is all what I've cut off. Huge amounts. But every time we saw fruit, it would fall off. Then, to my surprise, as I pulled away that long piece, I saw 1 fruit. And it's pretty good sized. We still don't know what it is, but we'll let it grow. There's another one. There's another one. I just found another one. Well, we'll let these 2 grow. Here are the strawberries in their tire home. They're growing very well. We haven't seen any blossoms yet, but it was the first year they were in the ground, so I didn't really expect to see any strawberries this year. The blueberry bushes were picked completely clean before the berries were even ripe. Not that there were many berries in the first place. So there's the Weigel Garden update. It's very lush. There just isn't much fruit, which is frustrating. This is Friday morning, and this is my last opportunity in the garden until Thursday of next week, because Mr. Weigel and I are going on vacation. Any advice or encouragement you have is greatly appreciated. Clearly, we didn't know what we were doing in the first place, so we don't know what we're doing wrong. You see the plastic bag there under the tire. Under this tire, under the plastic bag, I planted some peach brandy. We'll see how that turns out later in the year.